Considering the difficult logistics of desert warfare, there are times when a raid cannot be conducted, especially where there is heavy enemy presence. Because not only is it onerous to logistically support a large force, a sizable formation can also be easily detected by enemy observers because of the desert's terrain. That's when these guys come in. This is an infantry sniper team. A sniper is a highly trained marksman who shoots targets from concealed positions and distances exceeding the capabilities of regular infantry personnel. Snipers typically have specialized training and distinct high-precision rifles. In this case, the weapon these snipers have been equipped with is an Austrian-made Steyr 69. Because some sniper missions can go on for days, in addition to marksmanship, military snipers are also trained in camouflage, fieldcraft, infiltration, reconnaissance, and observation techniques.
सबसे पहले जब स्नाइपर को बनने के लिए उसका एक जिस्मानी लिहाज से उसको जो है फिट होना चाहिए, उसकी जो है काबिलियत को देखना चाहिए, एक अच्छा सा फायरर होना चाहिए, उसमें कुव्वत बर्दाश्त होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि स्नाइपर का रोल इस तरह है कि उसको शायद हो सके कि किसी मिशन पे जाने के लिए उसको 3 या 4 दिन या 5 दिन भी उसको वहाँ पर क़याम करना पड़ता है। तो लिहाजा उसको इस तरह होना चाहिए कि उसकी जिस्मानी और ज़हनी और मुश्किल हालात में जो है कहते हैं वो अपने आप को अपना फैसला खुद कर सके अच्छी तरीके से।
स्निपर होता है उसमें सबसे पहली बात यह है कि वो बेस्ट फायरर होना चाहिए। दूसरी बात यह है कि उसमें रात को देखने और दिन को जो है नज़र आने की देखने की सलाहियत उसमें मौजूद हो, और उसमें सब्र और बर्दाश्त का मादा हो, जिस्मानी और जहनी तौर पे वो ठीक ठाक हो, यानी किसी किस्म की परेशानी उसे पास ना हो। उसकी जो स्निपर चाल है, चाल सही तरीके से वो जानता हो, डब्बी चाल है, चीता चाल है, स्निपर कराल है, वो आसानी से वो कर सके।
Besides recon, the sniper's task is to reduce the enemy's fighting ability by striking at a small number of high-value targets, especially officers and communication personnel. Sniper tactics have a significant effect on the enemy's morale, and snipers play a key role in a psychological strategy to induce constant stress in opposing forces.
मुल्क की हालात के लिहाज से भी और जिस तरह वाना ऑपरेशन हो गए या सवाद ऑपरेशन हो गए, इसके खातिर भी देखे तो स्नाइपर का काम सबसे अहम होता है।
जंगी हालात में स्निपर का किरदार बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि स्निपर दुश्मन को डीमोरल करने के लिए उसके कमांडर को मारा जाता है, सिग्नल को मारा जाता है, जो ख़ास किस्म के पर्चे होते हैं उसमें उसको मारने के लिए जो है स्निपर होता है। जब उस कमांडर को मारा जाए, सिग्नल को मारा जाए, तो उसके जो हमला होता है, टेक होता है, जो कुछ भी होता है, उसमें काफ़ी लोग डीमोरल हो जाते हैं और काफ़ी उसमें डिले हो जाती है।
It takes more than being the best shot in a unit to be a good sniper. A sniper must have the ability to accurately estimate the various factors that influence a bullet's trajectory: range, wind direction, wind velocity, altitude, elevation, and even temperature. If a sniper misses, he's usually done for, because the sound of his rifle can probably reveal his position, and he has no heavy artillery to back him up. Snipers follow the one-shot, one-kill doctrine of not missing. Snipers have always had a varied reputation. To those whom they serve, they are heroes. But because they choose their targets in such a mechanical way, snipers are universally hated by opposing forces. In fact, they are trained with the assumption that if they are ever captured, there is a high risk that they will be summarily executed. That's why a good sniper leaves nothing to chance. Snipers are lone rangers. They have to learn to survive and operate on their own. But certain infantry tactics rely on clockwork-like coordination between a number of troops. That's key to infiltration. Infiltration involves a small, lightly equipped infantry force attacking enemy rear areas while bypassing the enemy's frontline strong points and isolating them from attacks by follow-up troops with heavier weapons. This is the setup. This section has to infiltrate enemy territory and destroy a bunker which has been hindering troop movement. The mission commander, a captain, has to brief his section before infiltrating. Because a small number of troops are involved, every soldier has an important role to play. It's vital that everyone is on the same page. As they fan out, there are 2 fire teams of this section. One, headed by the captain, has to frontally engage the bunker with machine gun fire. The second has to dispose of the enemy sentry and ambush the bunker from the rear. That fire team is headed by the captain second in command, his 2IC. The captain and his 2IC have to share the mission objectives. Even though the captain outranks the 2IC, who is a junior commissioned officer, he has to communicate and consult all forward movement with him. Considering that the army is a hierarchical superstructure where there is a clear line between superiors and subordinates, this mission demands equity of status on the front line, as that is needed to achieve the objective.
Everybody in my section or in any section has to play a very vital role. Like I am a team commander, a person who is carrying the LMG in my team, he has his own importance, I can't ignore him. Then my 2IC, who is shoulder to shoulder with me in any situation, he and me discuss the situation. Even I discuss the situation with my personnel and I seek their knowledge on the issue, and then we plan any operation. It is not like that I have planned an operation. Definitely the troops participating with me, they are important. They have an equal task to play as I am going to play.
As the captain and his 2IC lead their fire teams into position, they are no longer in contact. The captain has to rely on the 2IC to make the right call regarding his fire team. The action begins. Before the frontal assault is launched, the sentry has to be taken out. The designated soldier executes this move and falls back. Then, the captain gives the go-ahead to the machine gunner to open fire. The simulated enemy troops respond. Though they were not well prepared, their bunker gives them a position of advantage. It will not be easy taking them head-on. They have to be breached from the rear. That's when the 2IC has to make his call. So far, he had been getting into position, but because the bunker cannot be captured from the front, he has to deliver the killer blow from the back. Because the timing has to be right, his call has to be autonomous. At this point, he is not taking orders. He is in charge. He makes the call. The mission is executed. Because it had so many moving parts, the exercise could not have been complete without adequate preparation. What are the prerequisites for conducting a successful operation like this? What does the commander have to rely on?
First of all and foremost thing is the physical fitness of the individuals, those who are going to conduct such like an operation. Afterward, the complete know-how of the area where I am going to launch the operation or anybody going to launch the operation. And then the real-time information about the enemy. Where is enemy deployed? What are the gaps available in between enemy defenses? These are the things which must be known to any commander who is going to launch an infiltration or any operation.
But this is not real war. This exercise was simulated, and there is a stark difference between the security of practice and the stresses of battle. How is the line between simulation and reality drawn?
This was definitely a simulated exercise, but I was generally told that enemy is deployed in 2000 meter frontage. So I had to carry out a reconnaissance with my troops. I carried out reconnaissance, I found out the gaps in between enemy defenses, and then I infiltrated. You are right that this was simulated exercise, but I feel in real-time environment we will be facing the same situation.
And if the training is not enough, how is the success gauged?
The simple formula to gauge a success is always the aim given. I am given with an aim that I have to destroy enemy bunker which is hindering our movement. So if I have been able to destroy enemy bunker, that is success of my exercise.
What if you fail?
Fail is part of game.
What if you fail in real life?
I think there will be very less chances that we fail because our training constitutes a lot towards this aspect. So there are very less chances, but if we fail, it doesn't matter because one has to, but I believe that it will never happen in real time.